Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have got a holiday deck haul for you. So these are all of the decks that I received as Christmas presents this year, and all of these decks are still in order and I haven't worked with any of them, so it's going to be more so first impressions, just sharing what I got. I thought it would be fun, but if you see something in this video that you would really like me to do a full review on, let me know in the comments below, and once I've gotten a chance to work with the deck, I can post a review on whichever decks you guys are interested in seeing reviews on. Some of the decks in this video are going to be decks that you've probably seen on a ton of channels. A lot of the decks that I personally asked for were not new releases other than one deck, and that's really what I personally asked for this year, was a couple of decks that I've seen for a while and decided my collection kind of needs them for one reason or another. So I have 4 tarot decks to show you and 3 oracle decks to show you. So if you're interested in seeing what all I got this Christmas, keep watching and let's get into it. So starting things off with a deck that there's no way you haven't seen before. This is the Universal Waite Tarot deck. I have the Pamela Colman Smith Borderless Centennial Edition. That's a mouthful, but that's my RWS deck that I have. I also have the Radiant Wise Tarot, but it's a mini one that's like my purse deck. But of my full-size decks, that's the only one that I have. And then I have some RWS clones, but I just felt like in terms of RWS, I was kind of lacking and needing to add at least one more into my collection. So this is the Pamela Colman Smith artwork, but it's recolored by Mary Hanson Roberts. My Centennial Edition has very muted colors, and I really love that about that deck, but I kind of wanted to add something with the traditional RWS imagery, like the actual Pamela Colman Smith drawings, with some vibrant colors, and I was drawn to the vibrant colors used in this deck. The traditional RWS in the true bright colors is a little too loud, I think, in certain color choices for me. And so I think that's why I was drawn to this Universal Waite instead. It comes in a little tuck box. It's not a great one. This is one of those where it has the same tuck on the bottom side, so might damage your card. So I'm not sure that I'm going to keep it in here, but that's where it lives for now. Really like the coloration of this deck. Like, I love the use of the blues. I feel like it's just a classic, and I wanted to have a classic that I felt really connected to the artwork in, and because of the coloration of this deck, I felt this was a good choice for me personally. There's also the, what is it called? Radiant Waite, which is very similar. I also really like that one as well. I think the Radiant Waite, if I'm not mistaken, may actually be redrawn, but it's like an RWS clone, where this is the actual Pamela Colman Smith drawings, just recolored. But I like the backings on this deck as well too. It's this dark blue with all the little stars. So that was another factor, I think, that drew me towards this one. So again, very classic, very traditional choice here, but like I said, most of the decks that I asked for were things that I just felt were gaps in my collection. So that's why I asked for this one. So that is the Universal Waite Tarot deck. Okay, next tarot deck that I got was the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasso. This has been around forever, I feel like. Is there a year on here? It says 2011. Certainly been around since I got into tarot. I remember seeing this all the time. And when I first got into tarot, I was truly just studying RWS, and this seemed just so like a completely other world to me, where I didn't think I was going to be able to connect with it. But now that I've been reading for quite some time now and studying tarot for several years, I thought it was time to add it to my collection, because I've always thought the artwork was really beautiful, but I just felt I personally wasn't going to be able to read well with it when I very first found it, which was like really early on in my tarot journey. Didn't really look at it again. I've seen it in several videos and I've considered it a few times, but it wasn't until recently that I felt especially drawn to it and like it would be something that I would really want to have in my collection. It's really pretty. I love the fantasy style of the artwork because I just love the coloration of these cards, like the choice of purples and pinks and reds, and I mean all the colors used in here. Honestly, it's a very dreamy looking deck, and I really like that. I love a fantasy deck, and the backings on this deck are so pretty, so I was super drawn to this. Looks like a little crystal ball in the middle, which makes sense with that Crystal Visions name to it. So this is a really pretty deck, one that again has been out for a long time, just something I was super drawn to, wanted to add to my collection. This is also published by US Game Systems, just like that Universal Waite I just showed you was. Has that same tuck box that I don't think I'm going to keep this deck in because it has the tab that sticks into the, like you can see right here, just trying to put this in. So I probably will end up changing the box, which is unfortunate because I really love the artwork of this deck and I feel like the box has a really pretty choice from the deck on it, but you know, I want to preserve the cards. See, even just trying to close this right now is a task. So we'll see what I end up doing in that regard. But yeah, that is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Next up is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. This is another one that I feel has been out for quite some time. I remember seeing this pretty early on in my tarot journey as well, and not really feeling drawn to it at that point in time because I felt, again, I wasn't going to connect with it, which is funny because this one, I wouldn't call it an RWS clone, but I would say it's pretty close, whereas the Crystal Visions is RWS based, but pretty far removed from it, so I can understand that one seeming a little intimidating at the start, but this one, I'm not sure why, you know, I guess I just wasn't drawn to it at that time, but I love that this is Slavic and Russian fairy tales as the inspiration of this deck, so that's really cool. I love an interesting theme for a deck. I'll just show you. I like the inside of this deck. It's this bright purple. And the guidebook is actually, I've flipped through it a little bit. It's pretty decent for being this small. I think that they highlight good key points for a small, quick little guidebook. And I think the thing with this deck is that I am a watercolor artist, and this artwork is very watercolor looking, the coloration of it, and something about it clicks with me. I love the backing as well. It looks like a sun. This deck they're completely different, but it reminds me a little bit of the, what is that deck called that I have? Crystal Power Tarot. I have a review for it that I can link below if you're interested in checking it out. But if you like watercolor artwork, that's a very watercolor deck. And this sort of reminds me of that. It's very different. It's very different inspiration and everything with the Slavic fairy tales. But this type of artwork I just tend to be drawn to. I feel like maybe because I'm a watercolor artist, I just really like watercolor imagery. It feels like something I can connect to. So I really like it. It is RWS based. Not a clone, but I would say it's close. There's some changes, but nothing too drastic. And I really love this. Like, I think this High Priestess, for example, is really beautiful, very unique though. And I love the Hierophant card as well. So lots of really interesting interpretations, while I think still sticking pretty closely to RWS imagery and symbolism. So really excited to work with this one more. And this is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Next up is the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. So this, I didn't ask for this deck, and it's funny because it's been on my wish list for a really long time and I just haven't actually gotten it and I haven't asked for it, but I kind of had this weird thing where I actually had a feeling I was going to end up getting this as a gift without me even asking for it, and that's exactly what happened. And I was kind of like, well, if I'm meant to have it and whenever I'm meant to have it, it'll come to me, and that's sort of what happened. I love the packaging, really beautiful box. This is also US Game Systems, but just nicer packaging. Actually, all of these tarot decks are US Game Systems. The Tarot of the Golden Wheel as well, I don't think I mentioned it, is also really nice packaging, very nice box, sturdy, not going to damage your cards like the previous two. Same thing here. I love this dark green lining on the inside of this box, really nice. This one has a more simple, classic little white booklet, but I did read through it a little bit and it's still a decent little booklet, I think. If you've watched my videos at all, you know that I love the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot because, well, it's beautiful artwork first of all, but I also just love the gold foiling, and these cards also have gold foiling. It's very beautiful. These also have very much an Art Nouveau feel to them. I like the very clean lines and almost simple feeling. It's almost got a minimalist feeling, this deck. while still having really beautiful ornate details, just because it's very clean looking, I think. And it's honestly very beautiful, very soft colors, lots of pastels. It's a very feminine deck. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm super excited to work with it because this is very much, I would say, pretty close to being an RWS clone. Looking through it, a lot of the imagery is pretty traditional. Not everything, like obviously this Empress isn't super traditional. I think the moon card is quite a departure from traditional imagery for the moon as well, see? But there is a good amount of traditional imagery as well. So I do really like this deck. I'm excited to work with it. So yeah, that is the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. Okay, so those are all of the tarot decks that I got. Let's move on to the Oracle decks. First Oracle deck I got was the Treekeepers Oracle. So this was on my wish list. This was something I was hoping to get. It is really beautiful, and I am a fan of Stephanie Law's artwork. I have the Shadowscapes Tarot, and I love it. I think it's such beautiful artwork. And when I saw that she did the artwork for this deck, I was definitely interested in checking it out. Is this also US Game Systems? It is. This is a very US Game Systems heavy Christmas for me. This has fantastic packaging. I really think they did a beautiful job on the packaging for this deck. I love how this photo carries on to this side closure. So beautiful. It's sturdy, not too big. It's a little bigger than the cards, but totally reasonable. I love the inside of the box. The packaging is just a dream on this deck, honestly. It even comes with its own little organza bag if you want to carry it in a pouch instead of the box, if you just want to take the cards with you, which I thought was such a nice touch. I wish more decks would do this. These are not expensive to make, so I just think more decks should just offer this as an option, especially when they come in this other packaging. Like, if these just came with these little bags, problem solved, really. It would be better than nothing for sure, because this is not going to damage your cards the way that taking them in and out of those boxes will. So really love that they included that. You have the little ribbon to pull up. Really nice guidebook. I've looked at it just very briefly, but you've got full color. The entire guidebook is color. Like even the pages themselves are in color. Not just the images. It's really beautiful. You have all these little flourishes of little bits of the actual card on the pages, and nice size explanations for each of the cards. This is a really beautifully produced deck. I think there was a lot of thought, it seems, that went into the creation of this deck, and it really shows. It's just done so beautifully. Look at how beautiful the packaging is, where it just frames the cards here as well. I think it's really pretty. And then you even have an image here very similar to the backing of the cards. It's a little different on the inside here. The backings are really nice. They are actually reversible. I didn't think they were. I don't read reversals, but some people really, it's important to them to have the backings be reversible, and these are. Just incredible artwork. If you have the Shadowscapes Tarot or you're familiar with Stephanie Law's artwork, you know that she just does the most like hauntingly beautiful fantasy artwork. And it's just so ethereal. There's so much to pull from when reading with her decks, because the artwork just speaks in such a beautiful way. Like, I'm obsessed. It's just stunning. And I knew I was gonna like this deck. Seeing it in person, I'm even more excited to work with it. And obviously, because it's the same artist, this would be stunning to work with alongside the Shadowscapes Tarot. So I'm really excited to do some readings with this and get a real feel for it. It also has gold gilding. They did not cut any corners on this deck. So if you want to see a review on it, let me know, but I already have a lot of positive thoughts on it in regards to the production and the quality overall. It's super high quality Oracle deck. So I'm very excited to work with this some more, and this is the Treekeepers Oracle. So this next one is called Mindful Messages, and it's just a very simple little deck. This is not a deck that I asked for. It was a gift, and I think it's perfect for me, honestly. I do yoga every morning, and I try to take a moment after I do my yoga. It's not always super involved. If I'm really busy and I don't have time, I'll do 10 minutes of yoga, but I do anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes of yoga in the morning, depending on how much time I have. But after I do that yoga, I try to just sit for a moment, you know, do a little prayer, do a quick little meditation. I like to work with sound tools a lot right after. Nothing extravagant, nothing elaborate, but, you know, maybe just take 2 minutes of time to just sit with myself, whether it be playing a sound tool and focusing on the sound, or just thinking about nothing, focusing on my intention I'm setting for the day. And I would have never thought to ask for a deck like this. It was such a great gift for me though, because the first thing I thought of when I saw this deck was this would be perfect to use for pulls after my morning yoga. They're just simple little messages, but they have like a good amount to read on them. So I feel like these are great little, like, it's called mindful messages. They're great little mindful messages to kind of start your day with. And I love that. I think this is so cute. It's so simple and it's so easy to kind of incorporate into your practice, something like this. So I really love the idea of incorporating these into my morning yoga, but you could totally incorporate these into a reading as well. That was just my knee-jerk thought of how I could implement them into my personal practice. So I am really excited to work with these. I think these are off of Amazon. So I'm sure if you search, I haven't tried looking, but I'm sure if you search Mindful Messages deck, you'll be able to find this. I thought this was a super cute, very thoughtful gift. So I'm really excited to work with this. That is the Mindful Messages deck. Now this last one I have seen many times on other people's channels. So I'm familiar with it. So I'm really interested to check it out. This is the Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Kranz. I have her Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Her packaging is always insane. It's like such high quality. And I love her style of artwork with the watercolor and everything. I've seen it before, but I didn't like ask for this deck. It was kind of intuitively selected for me. And I'm really interested to work with it. I love archetypes. Like, I mean, if anyone who loves the tarot loves archetypes, I would think, because the tarot is just riddled with archetypes. What I really love about Kim Kranz, and the only thing I really know about her, is that she's a deck creator and that she does it all herself, which is so inspiring to me as someone who is working to create my own oracle deck. I want to do it all myself as well. I want to do my own guidebook. I want to do all the artwork in the deck. And a lot of times you have a collaborative effort coming together to create a deck, where it's someone writes the guidebook, someone does the artwork, that sort of thing. And I love that Kim Kranz does it all herself. So this is super inspiring to me. I like looking at her work and how she does things, because it's admirable to see that she does it all herself. So really cool guidebook. There's a lot of information in here. I haven't really read much in here, but I have skimmed it and it looks very interesting. And it's Harper One Publishing. It's a round deck. I think it's really cool. It's just such it looks like an eyeball or something. It's interesting. It's very cool. There's a ton of cards in this deck, like a lot. Some of it has like this clip art going on, or collage artwork, I should say. And I'm not usually drawn to collage artwork. And some of this collage artwork, if I'm being honest, kind of freaks me out a bit. Sometimes I may not be super drawn to the artwork of a deck, but working with it, I find that it has really powerful messages, or it just clicks with me. And so I'm, you know, very much open to seeing how this deck clicks with me. Again, I have a lot of respect for this deck creator. I think it's really cool that she does everything herself. Like I said, anyone who reads the tarot is probably interested in archetypes, so having a deck like this is very interesting to me. Very cool. I'm curious to see how it reads and how I work with it. So that is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. All right, everyone, so that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my holiday deck haul, all of the decks that I got for Christmas this year. I would love to know what decks you guys added to your collection this holiday season. If you want to post those in the comments section below, we can kind of see what everyone is excited to work with. And again, let me know if you want to see any full-length reviews on any of the decks that I shared in this video. And if you are interested in tarot or spirituality, anything in that realm, and you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and join along on the journey. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care and be well. Bye.